Days of Our Lives, who's shot at the marriage, Maggie, Con, or a loved one. Early spoilers, June 10 to 14, Maggie's wedding gunfight. Thursday, June 6, Lucas, Abby response. Theresa seduces Brady. Alex fears secret. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. After watching these videos, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Days of Our Lives suckers, buckle up for a somber coaster lift of feelings as marriage day chaos ensues. Maggie Horton's marriage to Konstantin Melemis takes a turn for the worse when shots ring out. The Greek antagonist, known for his deceitful ways, is exposed by John Black and Marlena Evans. This leaves him cornered. Maggie, far from being a helpless bridegroom, is ready to serve justice along with marriage cutlet, setting up Konstantin for implicit arrest and expatriation. With shots fired at the marriage, Days of Our Lives suckers are left in suspension, and they want to know about Pull Catch the Pellet. Steve Johnson, aka Patch John, and Sarah Horton are possible. So this also means Xander Cook or Maggie herself are all possibilities. Indeed, Konstantin could be the victim, marking an end to his reign of terror. Amid the chaotic marriage, Alex Kyriakis and Ben Weston are doubtful to play the idol, while Xander, despite his history, may step up to cover the Horton women he deeply cares for. Make sure to tune in coming week to find out who survives this shocking marriage debacle on Days of Our Lives. Days of Our Lives beforehand spoilers, June 10 to 14, Maggie's wedding gunfight. Days of Our Lives from June 10 to 14, 2024 sees Chad DiMera receives life-changing news. And it's regarding Clyde Weston. Despite his thirst for vengeance, Chad is halted by Harris Michaels, who aims to help Eva Vitale from killing Clyde. Meanwhile, E.J. DiMera confronts D.A. Melinda Trask about her involvement in stealing Jude. This battle leads to a collective disclosure. Also, it threatens to heave both their worlds. Also featured in this occasion of Days of Our Lives are characters Rafe Hernandez Stephen, DiMera Gabby Hernandez, and Linda. Conspiracy builds as Xander Cook's fugitive mama is suggested to appear soon, played by Serena Scott Thomas. The occasion concludes with a thriller. The marriage of Maggie Horton Kyriakis and Konstantin Melemis takes an unanticipated turn, and there's a projectile ringing through the venue. This prompts Brady Xander and Alex Kyriakis to crack a mysterious communication from Konstantin the week of 6/10 to 6/14/2024. Days of Our Lives Thursday, June 6. Lucas, Abby response. Theresa seduces Brady. Alex fears secret. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday, June 6 reveals that Brady Black eavesdropped Konstantin Melemis talking to Theresa Donovan about diverting the true heir at Law's heritage, but Konstantin acted like he was talking about Maggie Kyriakis participating her portion of the fortune. After Konstantin left, Theresa complained about Alex Kyriakis presumably being off with Kristen DiMera tonight. Once Theresa mentioned her open relationship, she allowed she merited some fun too and planted a kiss on Brady. Brady kissed back before pulling down and wondering what Theresa was doing. Although Brady didn't suppose it was a good idea to cross this line again, Theresa swore to bear and acted like this could purely be about enjoying their connection. Brady ultimately surrendered to Theresa's temptation sweats, so they kissed passionately as they stumbled into one of the bedrooms and fell back on the bed. At the DiMera man's on Thursday's day's occasion, Alex flirted with Kristen and wanted to hit the waists again, but she refocused out that they formerly did it twice this morning. Alex allowed the delicacy store was open all the time, but Kristen claimed she was shutting it down since she just wasn't that into Alex. Although that bruised Alex's pride a bit, Kristen refocused out that she was in love with Brady and Alex was in love with Theresa. In fact, Alex had been talking in his sleep about how Theresa was the woman he wanted and demanded. That news surprised Alex, who eventually admitted he felt like Theresa was holding back and that she'd been on the verge of confessing commodity on numerous occasions. Kristen suggested that if Alex could get Theresa to admit what that was, also perhaps he could reach another position with her. Alex thanked Kristen for the guidance as they wished each other luck with their true love trials. Once Kristen was alone, she looked at a picture of herself with Brady and pledged not to let him go. Formally, she got him back. Back at the Kyriakis manse on Thursday's day's occasion, Alex was puzzled when he came home and couldn't find Theresa since Henderson said she was there. Meanwhile, Maggie respected the Horton house emendations before Julie Williams admitted she had enterprises about the brewing espousal. Julie pushed Maggie not to marry Konstantin since she was not buying his story about Timur amends with Victor Kyriakis. It sounded more like Konstantin wanted vengeance and was using Maggie to get it. Maggie's response let Julie know there was a plan in stir, but Maggie refused to get into the details. After Julie brought up Chad Dimmer's parlous trip to find Clyde Weston, she circled back to Maggie, demanding to call off the marriage. Constantine intruded since the door was uncorked, so he defended Maggie's liberality for doing him this favor and stood by his claims that he'd made amends with Victor. Once Constantine said he got updates on his visa officially expiring, he told Maggie that they demanded to marry by this time hereafter and got her blessing. In Montana on Thursday's Days of Our Lives show, Chad was confused over Clyde Weston, claiming that Abigail DiMera was alive and well. Although Chad was skeptical, he ultimately put the gun down since he demanded to know how Abigail's survival was possible and where she was now. Harris Michaels assured Chad that they'd interrogate Clyde and get some answers. While Harris handed Clyde over to the FBI, Chad headed to Lucas Corton and Ava Vitali's motel room. Eva took off to catch up with Harris, so that left Chad to speak with Lucas alone. Chad admitted that Clyde was now claiming Abigail was alive, so he milled over the possibility that it was true. Lucas allowed it was far more likely that Clyde was saying whatever it took to save his own skin. Since Chad set up Abigail's body himself, Lucas reminded him of that and eventually hugged him in a moment of grief. At the Hutment on Thursday's Day's occasion, Ava met up with Harris and learned Clyde would be headed back to Statesville once he was questioned. Although Ava knew Harris was unhappy about her pointing her armament at Clyde and nearly taking him down permanently, she refused to apologize for trying to keep Trip Johnson safe. It all worked out since Ava didn't pull the detector, but Harris said they'd talk further about this in Salem and pushed her to stay behind while he visited the FBI field office. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Harris and Ava's relationship may be fading presto, so stay tuned for further prognostications on all the raising drama. Maggie's cunning plan unfolds on Days of Our Lives. Constantine play right into Maggie's hands, while Theresa made a questionable choice. While Constantine allowed his plan to take Maggie's heritage was working, he was playing right into her hands on the June 6 occasion of Days of Our Lives. Plus, Theresa made a move that might be to make Alex jealous, or it might have a deeper meaning. Constantine is an unwitting dupe. Julie vented her enterprises about Maggie marrying Constantine, but Victor's widow asked her to trust her. She insinuated that she had a plan in stir, but chose to keep everything close to the vest, stating, "The lower you know, the better." Maggie's absolutely right, because at this point, Constantine seems fully ignorant she's up to commodity. She's setting him up to potentially embezzle Plutocrat from Titan and bring him down. Of course, after advising Theresa that the timepiece is ticking for her to marry Alex and take his Plutocrat so they can resolve it. Constantine boovied into Julie's recently repaired house to tell Maggie that his visa expired and they need to get wedded incontinently. Despite Julie's horror at the news, the subtle yet trim look on Maggie's face spoke volumes, as she knew he was doing exactly what she wanted. Although Constantine allowed he burnt the prenup she had him subscribe, she's got the real one hidden down, and that will most probably be the final nail in his paw once he enacts his own scheme. Still, it could get dangerous because she knows he has to kill her in order to take her Plutocrat. Maybe Black Patch will help her fake her death and make Constantine suppose he's won. That will make his trip up the swash so much more satisfying when she reveals her not-dead status. Kristen may have accidentally set up Alex for heartbreak. Kristen told Alex that he talks in his sleep and would go on and on about how much he loves Theresa, so she officially ended their musketeers with benefit status. Meanwhile, at the Kyriakis manse, Theresa told Brady that she wasn't concerning herself with Alex because he's been open about chaffing around with Kristen on the side. Appealing to his single man, lonely status, she asked Brady into bed for a cotillion between the waists. Alex arrived home to tell Theresa that he loved her, but no Bohm was around in the living room, and he'd most probably stumble across the two. Despite being commodity a callous cad, it'll nonetheless be sad to watch his heart get shattered. We know that Theresa is supposed to swindle Alex out of his heritage, but there are moments when she seems to authentically watch for him. She's also been open in the history about having passions for Brady. So that raises the question, is she coverlet Brady to make Alex jealous, or is she sincere in her passions and really wants to revitalize her love with her son's father? She's weaving an intricate yet scattered web, and by the end, Theresa will most probably back out of her agreement with Constantine, but it could bring her. Thanks for watching these videos. Please hit the subscribe button for more updated news.